this wand always dropping me off in weird places? And this place is just creepy. I mean, constant. We're not. All this creepiness going on. Oh, hello, my lovelies. I am Madam Crystal Butterfly, and I've landed in some place spooky, and gonna be stuck here for a bit. Well, since we're all here together, why don't I tell you about a creepy story? Which one? I've read quite a few, and ooh. I know, my lovelies. I know just the book. It's a splatterpunk horror I read recently called Acidic Honey by author Lestrange. Lainey published Acid Honey June 2025, and her second story, The Carnivorous Candy Factory, October 2025. Originally, she did not have any aspirations to join the author ranks, but she did have an idea for a story. And after being nagged by her author friends, she decided to write her story. Now, this author simply adores stories about sentient beings and horror. One time when she made a joke in a live chat about the Kool-Aid Man being a serial killer, someone in the chat mentioned the idea of tattoos coming to life. After that, her brain started playing around with the ideas, leading to the inspiration for Acid Honey. Now, there were a few things that made Lainey a little scared to publish her story. The first problem was a fear of backlash if she had grammar mistakes. Now, for those of you who do not know, there are people in the bookish community that will go psycho on an independent author if they notice any grammar error, even if it's just something minor. And this is actually quite hypocritical because there are a lot of best-selling, traditionally published books that have more than a few grammar errors. Obviously, it's not all of them, but still, this does happen. However, when this happens with traditionally published books, it doesn't get recognized as terrible as hard as it does with an indie published book. And I'll be honest with you, my lovelies, even when an independent author or traditional author takes the time and effort to hire a really good editor and they check and they scan through the manuscript over and over again, there is still a good chance that there will be more than a few grammar mistakes that fall through the cracks. It's just unfortunately when this happens, there's a double standard for indie authors in the sense that when it's noticed, a lot of people sometimes tend to come down on them a lot harder for it. The other issue that made her a little fearful of publishing her story is that she used Grammarly. For those who do not know, Grammarly is a software that fixes grammatical issues. It can find a lot of problems, but it doesn't always catch everything, hence why this author still had editors look at her book. However, there are people in the writing community who treat using Grammarly the same as using AI to write an entire story, even though the two things are not the same. I understand why she was fearful. This is a very serious issue in the writing community, and most of the time the writing and reading communities are actually very positive and supportive. However, as with everything, there are always those outliers who like to cause controversy for no reason. Luckily for us, Lainey did not let negative people dissuade her from publishing her books. Does this author plan to write more books? Absolutely! Her stories, Unstitched Toy Shop and Skin Carnival, are in the works, and she's even working on a story called Jeffrey's Cookout, in addition to a Goldilocks retelling and other stories. Her love of books comes from the fact that when it comes to books, the sky is the limit. For her, it's wonderful how books capture a person's imagination, which is both a fantastic and sometimes scary place to enter. Acidic Honey. Such a delightful little treat, don't you think? Madeline, was supposed to stay silent. Be a good girl. Forget the blood, the bruises, the monsters who wore human skin. Too bad her tattoos had other plans. They woke up angry and talkative. Now she's rolling with an inked up murder squad, each one itching to take down the bastards who broke her. Limbs will fly and heads will roll. Marriage. Marriage is only the beginning. Wedded Bliss available now. This main character is a character I truly enjoyed reading about because she has been just subjected to the worst her entire life. It's beaten her down. It's made her feel horrible about herself. It's just left her in a state where she's just very unhappy. And yet, she does not let what these people did to her destroy her. Madeline's worthless mother decided that abusing substances was much more important than her child. So she allows men who can help her get her fix to rape her daughter. I won't lie, when I read what Madeline's mother allowed those degenerate pieces of shit to do to Madeline, I was seeing red. Naturally, what happened to her clearly tormented her. However, she refused to let what happened to her destroy her. Yes, this is a splatterpunk horror about how she gets revenge on those who hurt her with the help of rambunctious talking homicidal tattoos. However, this story does send the message of not allowing her abuser to define who she is. Madeline's mother sees her as nothing more than an object who can be used to fulfill her own desires. Meanwhile, the men who assaulted poor Madeline tried to define her as nothing more than a little whore. Madeline has the strength to let herself know that her abusers are not allowed to define who she is, and she refuses to let them break her. And as I mentioned earlier, after I read what they did to her, I was seeing red. So it was very satisfying to see how she took revenge and show how pathetic the people who hurt her truly were. Alright, my lovelies. It's time to get to some of my most favorite characters in this story. The pack of homicidal tattoos! Madeline's tattoos consist of Alice, the Mad Hatter, the Cheshire Cat, 2 butterflies, a moon, Darth Vader, who gets the nickname Daddy via Alice. She just felt it really fit his personality, and Winnie the Pooh with his acid honey. This fun cast of murderous ink characters bring a lot of fun to this story. Yes, most of their dialogue involves in many ways they want to murder the people who hurt Madeline. And they are very inventive with how they want to do that. But what I absolutely love the most about these characters is how silly they were, combined with their arguments about who to take out next. For example, Pooh decides to end one of their targets before Alice gets to take a stab at them, which really cheesed her off, and she fussed at him for it, and Pooh basically was saying, oh, he was finished anyway, might as well have just ended him with the acid honey. Meanwhile, Alice is just so upset because she had a monologue prepared to give this fool before she ended him, and Pooh just took that away from her. And reading their back and forth banter with that was just so much fun. Alright, my lovelies, time for us to rate this story. So, when it comes to acidic honey, I have decided to give it the butterfly rating of 5 butterflies out of 5. My lovelies, this was a very short story. There's a lot more I would like to tell you about this story, but I keep these reviews spoiler free, and I told you more than I would be removing any reason for you to read this book. And trust me, you're gonna want to read this book. It is so good. The author did a beautiful job of writing it. It hits you at your core emotionally. So when you see the main character reap her revenge on those who have hurt her, it just feels so satisfying to see. It's like one of the best revenge stories I've read. And I hope that all of you do yourself a favor and get yourselves a copy of this book. Alrighty, my lovelies. If you enjoyed this video, please, please, please give me a like. Leave me a little comment. And if you have not yet, slap that subscribe button like it owes you money. And don't forget to give that little notification bell a ring, okay? And with that, my lovelies, this video is a wrap. Now, if you please, come with me as we dance into a world